It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. I want you to follow that funky beat all the way to your couch. Sit down as we travel the world in the spirits of the likes of Columbus, Livingston. That's how we discovered the world. Well, that spirit lives on in adventurers, really mapping new paths and taking us along for the journey. And that can certainly be said for the gent joining me to my right. Andrew King is a filmmaker who I think has experienced the world in a way that very few others have, bringing to us one of the most memorable stories, I think, of the year. Welcome to the show, first of all. Thank you so much for joining us. This is my favorite segment because we get to live vicariously through you guys, and you've done some amazing stuff. We're obviously seeing you here with Ryan Sands, who's one of our absolute favorites. What is it like? How do you even prepare yourself mentally? Because you've got to film this. You've got to capture that moment. Talk us through these adventures, approaching an adventure like this from a filmmaker's perspective.
Perfect. Thanks, Graham. So, I mean, I think like every adventure filmmaker's background always comes from like participating in the sport, and you see it across like South Africa now. There are all these amazing adventure filmmakers coming up who like their genesis was doing the sport.
Yeah.
You know, they were like BMX riders, so they were the guy with the camera. And then they realized like their love for filmmaking, and then they land up making BMX films. See it with surfing, kayaking, and everything. So my background came from adventure sports, or particularly adventure racing, where it's all strategy, maps and compass, teams of 4, checkpoints and that. And then got into the position of wanting to tell the story of why people do these things. You know, we're always adventurers are always shown as these crazy lunatics, like on top of mountains, doing like stupid things or trashing their bodies for an unknown goal. And there's I guess there's some truth in that, but like I wanted to show the reasons why, what value you got, you know. And so my role changed from participating to like, but it was still the same thing. Like we were still like coordinating. How do you get to find the guy?
You're still having to do it.
Yeah. So like now it's not about like competing. It's about like where can you connect them on the course? Where's your access? Like what gear do you have to take? What should you be shooting with? And it becomes almost your own challenge, like trying to get what you can whilst keeping up, you know.
Which is more difficult, the planning of the logistics or the actual carrying out? Because surely there are so many curveballs that you can't plan for when you embark on the kind of epic journeys that you guys do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's certainly a bit of both, and like I really enjoy both. You know, like the more planning you do, the more confidence you have going into it. The more you get there with like a full set of information, and then whilst you're there, then you have access to that information to make the quick decisions on the move, deciding, going like, well, I'm a bit behind, maybe I should skip this. There's these other options, and so you certainly do get to the end of the day, same with like the sweat, and lay down and then feel quite proud of what you have in the bag. You know.
I love this picture right there. This dog is a hero. I'm guessing you put together, I think, one of your most recognized films is Trail Dog. So I want you to just remember the emotions that you felt going through this particular journey. When we return for the next segment now, we're going to talk about Trail Dog and this incredible star of the show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I really am loving connecting with filmmaker and adventurer extraordinaire Andrew King, who has brought us some unbelievably memorable films. Just before the break, we were talking about Trail Dog, which was a magical short film that really did grab people's attention. Just give us a very quick breakdown of that film and why you think it was such a success.
Yeah, I mean, it was really one of those like anomalies where it was hard. We went and shot, I was a cinematographer, went and shot the content in France. We brought it back, and the editors really struggled to like make the story. And it almost got pulled by the sponsors, Salomon Running TV. Just wasn't like coming right. And at the very like 11th hour, the editor, Dean Leslie, who did an amazing job of like rewriting the script and putting it together, and recorded it in the storeroom and sent it through to France, and the guys okayed it and aired it straight away. And no one thought it would really go anywhere, and it just seemed to like hit a chord, you know, about living life through the eyes of a dog, you know, up in a mountain.
Actually makes me a little bit emotional, to be quite honest. It's such beautiful cinematography, apart from anything else. So kudos for that, man. Now, while we're on our canine tip here, of course, and it was a film that we were able to feature. In fact, I'm going to give them a little taste before we chat about this, but we saw a canine star emerge, quite surprisingly, in another brilliant film that you were involved with called The Longest Hole. Take a look.
So when you see someone on the road passing you, and they say Mongol Nohor, meaning Mongol dog. We've come to the conclusion that Mongol dog doesn't just mean like, oh, that's someone's dog in Mongolia. Mongol dogs are almost a species on their own. I've seen him kill things. I've probably seen him kill 50 things. He's crunching up dry bones, you know. But the thickness of this fur, like, it's crazy. Like, it's probably got like 4 layers. It's been -1, -2, frost on the ground. He just curls up and just takes it. Don't get this confused that we are feeding the dog all the time and he's following us, because it's not like that at all. The cart is his home now. He guards it with his life. It's not as simple as just like, oh, there you go, no food. All right, he'll wander away. He's got the same domesticated mindset as a dog living at home. So that's going to be really difficult to break, as much as he is a terror, but he is an awesome dog.
The Mongol dog, if I'm getting emotional and I wasn't there, we've been lucky enough to take in this incredible journey. How does that make you feel, being taken back into that space and time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all got quite emotionally attached to the dog. So Adam and Ron, who were, Adam was setting out to play the world's longest single hole of golf across Mongolia, and Ron was pulling the carts as the caddy, and that was the adventure story. And all of a sudden on day 2, like, this dog enters the scene, like right out of these snow-capped mountains, and just started following us. And immediately, like, I'm holding the camera and I'm thinking, like, here's the gold,
Cha-ching.
Yeah, I actually said to Adam, I said, here's a gift from the filmmaking gods, and Adam became very attached to the dog, and it became like the catalyst for a bit of tension between the two of them. But at the end of the day, I mean, we had the premiere a few weeks ago at the Cape Town Adventure Film Festival, and there certainly were a lot of tears, like, coming in at the end there.
I mean, you couldn't write a more ingenious and unique story than this just happening organically. How do you then sum this up at the end of a journey that is this long, that spans so much? How do you edit something like this? How do you put that all together? It blows my mind that you can actually capture that in something that can be put on a cinema screen. How do you approach that part of the process?
Yeah, this one for sure was one of the more challenging projects I worked on. They golfed for 82 days. I was there for about 50% of the time. I flew in 3 times. Adam, who's this live wire character, had the GoPro film some of the most absurd situations. And then there was this dog, and then all the footage just arrives back. I mean, it's hours and hours. And, so needless to say, I spent a lot of time in front of the computer for the last 4 months just trying to figure this out. And we had a few iterations of what we wanted to present. And the reality is, like, you can make, if you have so many pieces, you can make any story you want.
Yeah.
But it has to be like the story that was true to what happened. So we kept having to, like, change the framing or the position of, like, the tension between the dog or the love for the dog or the golf or the adventure and everything. So, at the end of the day, we hope we got what was the best balance with.
Buddy, you hit it out of the park. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Congratulations on this success, and I think for the many more that are to come. Just keep adventuring, man. Just keep adventuring. We're going to let you absorb a little bit of that emotion. We'll see you after the break.